Asia Pacific is probably the market the most exciting, with where we do experience the highest growth so far. Probably followed by Latin America, where we are very strong yet, and we experience high growth too, with especially Brazil, and we are already by large the number one there, and we by next year should have a soccer cup, so it should help as well.
We heard today that you're doing a big push in terms of upper upscale and luxury to really sort of nail down those two segments, which you're very strong in Asia Pacific in particular.
Yeah.
What was behind that push? Did you really want to try and sort of tackle that that sort of discerning spender, so to speak?
Yes, in fact, what we were known as to be the leader in the economy segment and mid-scale segment, and with the repositioning of Sofitel, we have seen our partners, asking us, now we prove to be good in luxury segment, why don't we go in upscale segment? So we saw a real ambition from our partners and from our brand, and this is why we have been pushed by emerging markets such as Asia Pacific again, Australia for instance, or Latin America and Middle East Africa as well, and even Europe where we are experiencing high growth too, with few takeover in France, in Brussels, in London too, and so we feel now we have a role to play on that market too, and don't forget, upscale market is the biggest market share in the hotel business at the worldwide level, so we could not be absent from that market.
And are you seeing a lot of potential with conversions around the world as well as new builds? Obviously, we talk new builds in Asia Pacific where there are a lot, but Europe obviously conversions, Australia conversions, North America conversions. Are you seeing a lot of that as well?
Yes, we see both. It depends on the market. You're right. When we go for a European, most of the time these are conversion hotel. Former brand takeover from our competitor. That's a typical model. When we go for Asia Pacific, Middle East Africa, and Latin America, we have both. I must say, we have some takeover. We did some acquisition in Australia, for instance. We took over Mirvac. We took over Posadas in Latin America, and now when we go for Middle East Africa, most of the time these are new hotels to open.
You're happy with how well the Mirvac transition in Australia has gone and how all the hotels coming into the system? Because that was actually a lot of hotels moving into ACCOR system in one go.
Yeah. No, we are very happy, and we feel confident. More than 50% of our volume of rooms sold is coming from our system, So we have adapted our system. Our loyalty program have reached over 10 million now members. We are on a 2 million a year recruitment. So we feel very much confident now.
You're seeing a lot of loyalty amongst your guests. Like you said, the ACCOR's loyalty programs are doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot more loyal guests throughout your network in the world?
Yes. We see an increasing number of loyal guests. And among our loyal guests, we see roughly they spend 20% more than any given guest, So, and this is why we know this is the direction we have to take. And we were probably late on the loyalty program compared to our competitor, but now we are back, and we should recover very fast now.
Obviously, the Chinese outbound tourism numbers and the potential growth must be certainly exciting you in almost every corner of the globe.
Yeah, and we see that already for Sofitel, for instance. When you go, we have already 20 hotels Sofitel in China, and clientele mix. We have our Chinese guests are the number one nationality in Sofitel. So we start to see them, all over the world, where they travel outside China. This is a very big market for us, and of course, this is why we are pushing on India as well, because the potential in India is tremendous. So we opened our first Sofitel in Mumbai, and all over the place we are pushing. Emerging markets are really the destination. Indonesia, for instance, as well. It's a big market too.
And how's your asset light strategy going? We've seen a lot of changes amongst selling off a lot of the assets. How's that all going?
Yeah, it's going well. We had announced we had to do 1.2 billion asset sale between 2011 and 2012. We did it. So our ambition is to be by 2016, 20% subsidiary, 40% under management agreement, and 40% under franchise agreement. So for the time being, we are right on time, for everything we announced.